dude. I'll fucking shave it.
Wow.
Yo, what's up, everybody? We are live. We're talking about shaving body parts.
This is AI Avelio.
Yeah. All right, guys. So it's Wednesday, December 10th. We're covering a bunch of stuff today. Adam wants to show us how to do some building of apps, building of websites that are going to be using Lovable, and we'll talk about a couple of other AI no-code tools that are out there. I mean, there's a million of them now that can help you. And we'll do some stuff live here. So if you've got questions or you got comments, you want us to build something specific, like let us know, but we'll kind of get started through that, which will be pretty cool. And just different ways of how to continue innovating, not being afraid, just trying and testing stuff.
Right.
So we'll do that. That'll be cool. We got Corey Connors coming at us from Portland. He's moved. So
yeah, Canada.
It's
beautiful. It's raining like crazy here. We're experiencing an atmospheric river, whatever that is.
Dude,
it's a lot of rain, apparently.
Yeah, but isn't it always rain over there? It's
Justin Timberlake song. Atmospheric river, yeah.
That's a good point.
So we got Adam, the less pale man pink. Somehow you got some color in your face.
The tan man.
Smacked you.
The tan man.
What's going on in Utah?
The show, I was just.
All right, Adam. So let's jump into this new thing.
Let's do it.
So you're building. You're now a website developer.
Apparently,
you're the website king,
business owner, website king.
Yeah. Let me.
I was thinking you and the mattress king should get together and do a show.
Ooh, make a baby.
I think so. There's the queen of wraps that's here. She does car wraps, and I've thought,
oh, this is perfect.
We should probably make some content. But yeah, so I was introduced to Lovable, and like Avelio said, can
you make your window taller or narrower?
What?
Can you make your window taller or narrower? Like stretch it out in your screen.
Can I stretch it? You mean like get rid of this?
No, like right now, is it?
Oh, that's good.
That's better.
I don't know what you're talking about. It looks fine to me, and I'm not gonna. I don't have an AI tool to fix whatever your problems are. So yeah, I've been.
That's the website we need.
I've been using Lovable, and like I think we should do something live. Can we solve it? Can we create something live? I think that could be cool. But it was introduced to me as vibe coding, and and I was like, what the heck is this? And so I'm pretty curious and unafraid of failure most of the time. So I was like, I'll just try building stuff. I really like to create things. And
vibe curious.
I'm vibe curious.
You're doing this. What's the website? So anybody that's watching knows.
So the website is lovable.dev, lovable.dev. And so I'll give you an example. So I was over at a friend's house. We're a guardian home, and she was saying that we're a guardian home for a dog. So our dog had puppies. She was like, I don't have any access to my website. I'm not sure what's going on. I think the person who does is doing bad things. I was like, well, let's build you a new website. And so in about 45 minutes, I got onto Lovable. I vibe coded, and built this website that I just pulled up based off her old site. So this is silverlakedoodles.com. And I built it. I took, all these puppies legit were born in my bathroom on Halloween night, which is why they all have names of candy. And so we took some photos, we built a back end. I taught my 14-year-old daughter how to manage the back end to upload photos as they're growing, and just kind of update the price and things like that. So we built this whole thing here on Lovable in about 45 minutes. Bought the domain on GoDaddy, published it, and away we went. So yeah, so that was that's the general idea. And so I thought, well, let's do something live here. So packaging related,
Yeah.
because there's so much of AI that I think people just are afraid of. It's like, well, what do I use it for? And yeah, the puppies they're super cute. As you can tell, they're not inexpensive puppies.
Did one of them get a name Snickerdoodle? Because
I know that would have been a good one, but
dude,
no, we
that's a
went
miss.
candies, not
I
cookies.
just wanted to let you know you missed the mark there.
We did.
right.
So
you want to build some kind of an app, some kind of a
Yeah.
website that's
So
tailored to packaging.
yeah, so if I came in here and I said, let's see, I want to build a web application. I'm speaking this for people who are just listening on the review. I want to build a web application to create RSC die lines for a corrugated box. They would input the height, width, and depth, right, of the box. And we would generate the die line that they could then download. I can't type. What information would you need to get started? So,
so pretty simple, right? You're kind of laying out what you need and what your goal is, and then you're asking it to come back to you with a couple questions.
Yeah. So the way that I thought about this is, okay, if I was going to talk to somebody who is a coder, who's just going to write all this stuff and type it in, how would I start it? So you can see what it came back with. It said, I'll help you build the RSC die line. It's a great technical tool for packaging design. Let me clarify a few things. What's the main goal of the project? Let's just say, oh gosh, what happened? It went away. Repeat the questions. I know you're not supposed to be nice to AI because it like uses a whole bunch of computing time, but I still feel like I put please in, and it's going to be nicer to me.
Very sweet of you.
Thank you. Here we go. So let's just build an app for myself, and then we'll submit it. Oh, I skipped the questions. Great. So I just think about it like, okay, so there's a person that I'm talking to, right? And how would I communicate something to them? And then and then we have a dialogue basically in a chat box. And then eventually what's going to happen is over here in the preview page, you're going to start to see what the app is going to look like. So how should we export this? Avelio or Corey?
Do a SVG.
Okay. So we want an SVG and measure in millimeters.
Yep.
Should they put in board caliper?
Yes.
Okay.
Flute.
They should input board caliper in
material color and
flutes. Design. Also, they don't really need to put in the material color, right, for a die line?
Nope. You say no need design style. Design style not needed. Keep it simple.
Simple is best. Okay. So again, we can do this. It should generate something here pretty soon that's going to be usable. We're not going to go through and, fine tune the whole thing. Obviously there would be maybe this will take, a half an hour to an hour to get. Yeah, we'll see what it comes back with here. I think the point is what I've been finding out is that tools like this are not overly expensive. So you just like, for me, there's a free version because I've been building multiple different things using Lovable. I pay for credits to be able to keep doing edits, but you don't have to do that. And
there's There's
What do you mean you
Lovable,
pay for credits? Like,
there's Replit, there's a bunch of different companies that
About
do.
$100 a month is what I pay. And then I also have a database called Supabase that I tie into because of the basketball site that I built, which has been pretty cool. Actually had a couple of like pretty high level coaches reach out to me yesterday, and they were like, this is awesome. Okay, so let's see here. Done. The RSC dialine is ready with inputs. Okay, so here you're going to see it's going to create. What were some other ones that you would have on here that you were talking about?
Yeah, there's a couple. Chris is saying, yeah, Lovable is really cool, but for now, I see platforms like Wix and Squarespace as more reliable and stable. I would agree, and I mean, a lot of these different companies out there that are already doing web development are incorporating a lot of this AI into it, so that you can just type in what you want, and it gives you options, so you can see an update. So you're not getting such a basic result, but sometimes you're just trying to test out an idea.
Yeah.
Right. And I think with like Wix or Squarespace, if you're not a web developer, if you're not on the design side, you can get a little overwhelmed with colors and like flyovers and like all these different things that it does offer to make a great looking website versus just trying to get your idea out there. So I think like Lovable is a good solution to test out an idea and then move it into something else that works. I mean, even Canva is doing some amazing things with AI, which I can't believe I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's
You can also on the back end to get a little deeper. You can also do if you've got ChatGPT, you go to OpenAI and then you can create your own API key that you can put money into. That API key is basically credits that will use ChatGPT on the back end of this website. So anytime somebody uses this and they're trying to get something created, those tokens have to be paid for by somebody. So you can pay that as a company or as a person through OpenAI, and then tie it into your Lovable website and pay for it that way.
Yeah. So obviously, if I were to be doing this, I would spend a little bit more time, training it on what an actual RSC die line looks like. I did just try to download one, but let's assume that you work for a corrugated company and you already have a bunch of these die lines. You could just upload them in there. It would learn it pretty quickly, right? Yep. Then you can come in here and you can put, I don't really speak in millimeters too often, but this one was
300
by 300 by 600 because deeper is cheaper.
That's
and
right.
It's C flute. So let's say if all of these were wrong, I don't know what the millimeter thickness is, but if they were, then what I end up doing a lot is just screenshotting something and then just copying and pasting it into here and then saying,
and it can determine that. That's incredible.
Yeah, need to change, fluting to be this thickness, and then it will update it.
And then putting in, dust flaps and the glue flap dimension.
Yeah, so all of this stuff is super easy to fix. And then up here, you can add a custom domain. So if like I know it connects into GoDaddy really easily, so I'll just go buy the domain in GoDaddy. And then add the custom domain. I log into GoDaddy through Lovable, and then it changes everything and publishes it right then. Or you can just add a subdomain, rsc.lovable.app. That one has already been taken. And then
so why don't you do? So, I mean, you could do this, and then you can take a screen capture of that die line, which we know is incorrect, but you can take a screen capture of this die line, and then you can drop this into Nano Banana and ask it to create a rendering. Then you take that rendering, you can bring it back into Lovable, and then ask it to generate a rendering.
Okay, so we want to generate. What do I want to say here?
Generate a 3D render.
A 3D render. Oops, that's hashtag. 3D render of
this RSC box from this die line.
Okay. I don't do this all that often, so this is a
Mhm.
lot more in your wheelhouse, Avelio, but
I remember when we did this for Ryan Fox's
Yeah.
ska company. That was fun.
Can't say this is going to be great, but let's see what it looks like. Can you scroll down?
that's as much as I can. Oh yeah, there we go.
Bam.
Looks really good.
Okay,
Right.
so now what am I doing? You're using too much tape. Come on, guys.
Yeah, there's a little
So
too much.
then you want me to download this and then go back to Lovable?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me share this tab. Okay, attach, downloads. What do you want me to tell Lovable to do here?
Then just generate a 3D rendering like the attached image for each style line. Right. These are things that you can build, that you can vibe code on your own. They don't have to be published for the public as like a full website. That's something you can use internally. If you're a small team, maybe you need die lines, or maybe die lines for custom labels, right? You can throw a logo in there and then tell it that you want an eighth of an inch all the way around the artwork, so that you get like a nice little white space. Maybe you'll be able to create that. Maybe it's how to paginate pages. Like there's a million things that you're doing right now that you're doing manually, but why not be able to throw it in here and have AI support you? Quoting is one I see a lot of. There's a ton of people on Reddit. They're like, hey, how do you quote? And they're trying to figure out how to create quoting software for packaging, but there's so many variables.
I'll have it done hopefully by the end of this year for label quoting. So that's what I'm trying to get built out, is training or building basically a when I say quoting, I mean a general budgetary. It's not going to be something that you're going to take and say like, hey, I got this quote, I'm going to print this. It's not an estimate. It's just a quote. And so I mean, I obviously have. What's that?
It looks nice. What's the difference between a quote and an estimate?
And it's spinnable.
Dude, that's insane.
That's really cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly. Wow. Yeah. So in my world, a quote is budgetary. An estimate is like, this is what we're going to use to actually print. Now, a lot of times they're used interchangeably.
Quote is budgetary. What does that mean?
It means based on the limited information that you gave us. So if somebody says, I know the size of my label, and I have the artwork. Well, we need to know probably material, unwind, the type of liner it's on. There's more information that I don't want to bombard somebody with when they're just like, can you just tell me about how much this should cost? Like somebody walked in the other day to the Label Kingdom and said, hey, that's what I'm looking for. And I was like, it's going to be around 20 cents. I just pulled something up real quick. I'm like, I could dig into this a lot more and get you an exact quote. But if you needed 10,000 of this, it's going to be about $200. It's going to be about 20. It's going to be about 20 cents. Right. They're like, oh, okay, that's a quote. I think most people. Well, so in my world, though, an estimate is what, just in my language.
An estimate is like a guess. I'm estimating this is about 12 inches.
Yeah, I guess it's semantics. I'm
quoting you. I'm saying exactly word for word what you did, because it's got to be exact.
Okay. Whatever we decide to call it, it's going to be pretty clear on the site. Like these to be used for estimate. These quotes are for estimate purposes only.
I just estimated this quote. That's what I'm going to say. Yep.
I wanted to show. This is pretty cool, by the way, that we just kind of threw this together. But another application that I've used was, so I spoke at an event up at Landau Packaging, and instead of putting together a PowerPoint slide, I just built this I took all my notes and I just built this in Lovable. So they wanted me to talk with some of their vendors and customers and employees about these topics. And so I could come in here and I could just click through various things. And then I had a site that I could share with them. So I could just start the presentation. I could go through this like it's a presentation, or I could click over to something else, and I could do all.
We got a couple questions here real quick.
Okay, cool.
Just Natalie saying that the 3D rendering rotating thing is pretty useful. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Period 4 saying, was that spinnable version downloadable?
Let's see. If it wasn't, I could say, can we make the
Who knows what's up?
preview downloadable? And so again, like, this is the power of being able to create stuff is really only limited by our ability to ask questions and be really curious.
Right.
And I think that we're seeing a transition away from like the people who know how to code. I'm sure it's helpful, but I don't know how to code. But I'm a pretty curious. I'm like, let me go try to figure this out. Let me just keep asking questions over and over and over and over again, which would be really annoying for somebody, I'm sure, who's coding this, to be like, oh my gosh, this guy. Well, AI is not annoyed, right? It's just yet. It's not annoyed yet. But here, download the PNG. Let's see what happens when I open it. You're not going to be able to see it on my screen, but so for example, I just downloaded a PNG. It's not. That's not.
We are watching the chat.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Fine, Hugh. Estimate, quote, acknowledge. I got it. So yeah. So I downloaded this as a PNG. I don't think that PNGs have.
No, you'd want to download that as like a interactive PDF, or a GIF. There's a million different ways that you could do it, but
yeah,
the fact that you can create a downloadable version and then you can fine tune is cool. What? Yeah. Can you go back to your presentation? I think that was pretty cool. What were you using for that?
Same thing. I just built this so I built it in Lovable in this
as a website, right? Or as an app?
Website, yeah. So it just I ended up buying a domain so that they could share with anybody who couldn't make it. And instead of like sending a PDF around or a PowerPoint or whatever it was, they could just say, hey, go to landellrocks.com. And it's not up there anymore, but I could still. It's just landell.lovable.app. They could go to it. And so this is where I put my presentation. And I went through it here. Somebody, if they want to, they could print off this is just the summary of my presentation in case they couldn't take notes. Oh no, you didn't see the summary. Sorry. This is what showed up on the screen. So they could just print this off.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really unique idea. Nice job.
Yeah. So again, it's just what do you want to do? I mean, that's at the end of the day, right? It's like, what kinds of things do you want to accomplish? What would be really useful? And that you're doing that you think is a waste. I don't know. I don't even really know how to say it, but it's like the possibilities, they're not endless for sure. But there's significantly more possibilities now than there were a year ago.
But here's what happens when you've got so many options that you don't know where to start: is people get overwhelmed by the potential, or they're just frozen. They don't even know where to start. It's like a good place to start is have an open window for like an open chat GPT window for the full day. Type, just tell it at the very beginning, say, hey, I'm going to type in all the stuff that I'm doing throughout the day. Don't respond with anything. Just acknowledge that you've received with like a yes, or, and then what you do is you go ahead and just start typing in what you've done in the morning, right? So, hey, I just got in, I answered 30 emails, blah, blah, blah. I'm working on some templates, dialines, and measuring out some, and let it know exactly what you're doing throughout the entire day. Be as specific as possible. Obviously, it's going to take some time to do that throughout the day. And at the end of it, you can ask it, what are some of these tasks that can be automated with a no-code website or app? Right? And it'll come back to you with some options. give me the top 5 things that I can do that can be automated. And maybe throw in what software you're using. You're using Outlook. So Microsoft's got its own OpenAI connected chat thing, which is starting to do some really cool things. You can throw in Replit or Lovable or whatever, OpenAI, like NanoBand, like all the stuff that's available, and have it figure out like what you can automate through all these different systems and how to tie them together.
That's great.
And start.
I enjoy just using the note taker app I have for meetings.
Mhm.
It's such a time saver, and then you can send it to everybody when you're done.
Yeah.
And like, hey, here's the notes I had, and people really appreciate it. It's been a hit.
Yeah, and even beyond that, there's things. So you can take the transcript, for example, and then say, hey, I'm looking for my action items.
Yeah.
What do I need to do? What do other people need to do? And
that's included in the one I use.
Yeah.
It's called Circle Back, and it starts with that. This is what Corey said he'd do. This is what Adam said he'd do. This is and then it you literally has a box you can check. It's just awesome. It's great.
Yeah. And by the way, next year, all of these things that we're talking about will be like, can you believe that was all that there?
Oh, for sure.
I do think there needs to be guardrails, by the way, on all of this, because I can see where it would spin out of control. And when the people who created it are like, we really got to do something, but also they're making billions of dollars. I don't know. To me, I'm like cautious. I'm like a trust but verify. Like I'm a little bit cautious, but also I'm like, making an RSC die line generator tool is probably not going to be the thing that's going to cause the robots to destroy us all and humanity. But in terms of what it can like the things that are practically available for people, I've been shocked. And I've started to think that way now, rather than just, oh, I have to go get this done. I'm like, oh, can I build something to get this done? And we start thinking that way, you really start to see.
Yeah, you customize. I think everybody's going to do that. They're going to customize apps to their own need, and it can be things as simple. There's a calorie counter, right? Where you can take a picture. You can create a calorie counter for yourself, right? Just take a picture, upload it, and it'll tell you how many calories are in a particular thing, and it can break down nutritional facts based off of a photo and just a general idea of volumes. There's people paying top dollar for that type of stuff. So it doesn't have to be packaging related. Just think about it in your life. Like what do you want? What are you searching for? And just build it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, gentlemen. Gotta go.
All right, guys. I hear somebody's getting a Teams call from someone.
Yeah, that's Corey. Corey, the sustainable caveman Connors.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us. Appreciate it. Do us a favor. Throw some comments in the YouTube. Go follow us there. Go follow us on Spotify, all that stuff. And we'll see you Monday.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you guys.